This elementary school here is getting a full fire alarm system upgrade, and this video is going to be all about the process of doing that. This system upgrade in this building is going to be different than any one I have ever shown before. Now, this building is also by far the largest fire alarm system I have ever shown a replacement at, and the actual replacement itself is going to be a little bit different in this one than any of the ones I've done in the past. Now, with that said, let's get into this replacement and actually see what's involved and what has to be done. This is an elementary school located in Canada. This elementary school was built in 1994, and it was designed to be a school for students that are hard of hearing. This was a specifically built building for that occupancy. Now, that's a very important part, that this school was built specifically for students that are hard of hearing. The fire alarm system in this building is being upgraded for two reasons. First of which, this school is getting an addition. The addition is not being added directly to this structure, but is going to be a separate building on the property that needs to be tied into the fire alarm system. The current system is a EST Quick Start QS4, which we cannot get new parts for, and it cannot be added to. Therefore, we will be putting in a new fire alarm system. Now, being that Quick Start, this system is not known to be one of the most reliable systems, so the Quick Starts are now the next systems on the list for preventative upgrades. That system replaced what was originally an ESA 2000 fire alarm system. As far as the initiating side, it is much like any other building constructed at the time of this build. This is a non-sprinklered building. Therefore, in place of sprinkler heads, there are mechanical heat detectors installed throughout the building, and hallways and stairwells do have smoke detection in them. Where this system differs from the average system, not only for the initial install, but this replacement, is the notification audio-visual side of it. Because this building was built for the hard of hearing, it was built well beyond what normal standards required at the time and even now. This building was equipped with 2 strobes per classroom. Larger areas like gyms and libraries would have upwards of 4 visual devices, and corridors had strobes every 50 feet or less, with bells installed in corridors more commonly than you would usually see for students that did have partial hearing. The visual devices in this school specifically are well beyond what is required even in a new construction building in 2024. However, the occupancy of this building has changed. Where it was initially built for the hard of hearing, it is not anymore, and the school is now occupied by the same students that would attend any other school. It is not a specific hard of hearing school anymore. Therefore, the replacement does not have to be done to that higher standard. Usually with these system upgrades, we do a one-for-one replacement where we replace each device that was previously there with an equivalent or better. So the initial install was designed specifically for hard of hearing. However, because the building's occupancy has actually changed, therefore the system can be replaced to satisfy the codes for a normal occupancy building. That means many of the devices that were once required are no longer required to be here. Now, with the history of this building explained, let's get into what we're going to be doing with this new install. Like most projects, the first step is planning. Now, a lot of the work has been done by the engineer. This system is being installed because of the building addition. That all requires proper engineering, unlike the other system replacements that we've done, which are simple device-for-device replacement. All of the decisions of device placements and device types were made by the engineer for the project. However, we, as the electricians in the field, still need to familiarize ourselves with the system's construction. Where are these devices? What types of devices has the engineer spec'd where? And how is the fire alarm system wired and installed in this building? Engineers are also just humans like the rest of us, and they do make mistakes. And on this project, we actually found a couple mistakes. So it's really important to give the plans a good look over, not only for yourself to familiarize yourself with the project, but also to see if something looks out of place, especially on a retrofit project like this, where this current plan sitting in front of the screen is the original as-built to when the school was built in '94. And then compare them to the new set of revised plans that the engineer has created for what they want you to install. You'll want to see if they've added devices then, and not after you've done the install, that not realizing that you got to pull wire over here, you got to pipe this in, etc., etc. It's good to give them a look over because they don't always make it obvious that they've added something. As far as the initiating side of this system goes, nothing has been changed for the pull stations. However, the detection side of things are a little different. This engineer has spec'd every single heat detector in the building to be changed to a smoke detector. Every detector here will now be a smoke detector. As far as detection placement, nothing is being added except for one hallway where it was a very long stretch without any detection. Theoretically, it does not have to be changed as it is a retrofit and can be grandfathered in, but this one spot, the engineer really wanted to see something added there, even if legally it wasn't required. Let's take a look at some of these symbols on the plans. So these are smoke detectors, these are heat detectors, that's a strobe, that is a bell, that's a strobe, and that's a pull station. This is a common example of how the audiovisual system is set up in this building. Where we have a fire bell, we also have a strobe. Now there are also lots of areas where we will find a strobe only. As far as in the classrooms, there are two strobes. One of the strobes will be deleted, the other strobe will be converted into a horn strobe. In the corridors, wherever you find a bell and a strobe, the strobe will be deleted and the bell will be replaced with a horn strobe. And in the corridors where you find a strobe only, that strobe device will be deleted as it is no longer needed to meet the new codes that the occupancy of this building dictates. Those are the typical reoccurring devices. Classrooms and hallways. There's many of them that are the same. Specialty rooms such as gymnasiums, libraries, office spaces, those will be done differently to what fits the scenario, and I will show those in the video instead of going over each one right now. This building does have some HVAC duct detection, which the engineer got rid of two of the duct detectors because they had two on each unit and they weren't deemed as necessary, so two will be replacing. This building does also have HVAC shutdown for some of the air handlers that are supplying air to multiple fire zones, and in this building we also have magnetically held open fire doors, which of course all of the control to that will be controlled by our new system that's going in. And they actually shipped us all new door holder magnets, which was completely unnecessary. The old ones are fine, so we're just going to be leaving those. There's no issues with compatibility with a new system. And I haven't mentioned the new system until now because it's not important to everything I've just listed. That does not determine the devices that are being installed, whatever brand of system it is. So I say it now, we are installing a Notifier system. This is a Notifier NFS2-3030 or 23030. The reason the 3030 is being installed, I'm not sure. A 640, I believe, would have done just fine, but engineers spec'd it, so that is what we are installing. Let's actually take a look at all those products. So we have 37 pull stations, NMPS-SAs. They're the T-bar metal pull stations. There's 153 detector bases. Each box has 10 in each one. And then right here we have 156 smoke detectors, FSP 951As. 156 of those. We have 43 horn strobes. These are the xenon strobe. These are old stock. They don't make them anymore, but we're using them up here. We have all the other parts of the system, such as end-of-line resistors, various modules. We have dual monitor and single monitor modules, some relay modules, and we have our annunciator components, which currently is ACM24AT, but we may add a LCD280. That may have to get more wires pulled over there. We'll see. We have what we are using. We have our ISO 6A, that's a 6 isolator card. We have 4 of those to give us 24 isolated SLC branches. We have our 6 card chassis bay that will mount into our various covers, and we should have some XP6CAs or whatever they're called. Those are there somewhere because our panel is a 3030, so it has no onboard NAC. So 3030 is our CPU going in here. Outdoor strobe, that will be blue strobe for building zone enunciation. And we have 3 DNRAs, that is our duct detectors, cages for the gym horn strobes, and for the smokes that will be replacing the heats in the gym. Don't know what that is. 5-foot sampling tubes for our duct smokes. We have power supply there, LEM320 loop expander, XP6RA, that's relays, whole bunch of wall mount strobe onlys where we need to put strobes up but not horn strobes, and then 6 ceiling mount strobes for the ceiling of the bathroom. These ones are white. The LEM and the LCM, so that's the front and back, so that's 2 loops.
And this?
Yeah, that's the LEM.
What's
and,
the ACM?
and there is now a relay card that was added.
24T?
That's our annunciator. There should be 2 of those. Zip ties are cut off here. Getting panels drilled out, ready to go. We have 3 booster panels currently, and our main panel is a QS4 EST, which replaced an ESA with 2000. And how this is going to work is everything in the field is going to be changed to addressable, and each zone, conventional zone, will need to be added to a isolated SLC branch. So each zone will tie to a isolator and will be isolated, and then every device on it will be changed to addressable. There's 21 zones currently, and then each one of these is feeding NACs. Can't remember how many. Jamie, how many NACs are in here, do you know? Then we got this guy here.
It's like 11 going through that way, and then there's more out there.
Yeah, so a lot of these are zones that are going through and out. Number 12 is your bell circuits going through and out. So another really important step here is identifying the circuits, which I worked on here with my coworker by one of us creating a trouble on that circuit. Therefore, the panel will tell us which circuit it is. Yeah, that went back. That is booster 1, circuit 4. So here we have all the labeling done. You can see each conduit is numbered and then which circuits are in that conduit. So this is for our initiating devices, and then here you can see our signal circuits, which is also labeled which booster panel or main panel they are supplied from. Another pre-project thing was we had to find a junction box where we had a spare 12-2 ran to, where we needed to tie that on to make a new isolated branch going to the elevator machine room for future elevator relays for elevator homing and fire service, all that sort of stuff. Just a future-proofing thing. If the elevator's to be upgraded, that will have to be connected. We also marked all of the audiovisual devices with painter's tape. A piece of red tape means the device is being replaced, and a piece of purple tape means the device is being removed. Of course, you can look at the engineered drawings, but it's easier to also have that labeled in the field. That way you're not going back and forth. So removing strobes in here. Removing strobe in the hallway, replacing bell with horn strobe. Here we're running that SLC and tying on to an existing NAC circuit to add a strobe in the elevator room. Added relays or boxes for future relays for elevator. Added a strobe in the elevator machine room. Guys, let's start off with day 1 of fire alarm system replacement at this elementary school. We got a lot of work. There's 150 something smoke detectors that need to be installed, replacing heat detectors. We have well over 40 audio visual devices, probably double that if you count the old system, because we had bells besides strobes. Now we're going to be replacing them with horn strobes. So there's lots to do. All this old equipment has to come out of here. One very last thing I thought I should do before we replace the system is show off how this sounds for one last time, because it sounds so good and the unsynchronized strobes are so crazy. So each classroom has 2 strobes. Everyone looks the same. This guy is hooked up to a carbon monoxide detector, not part of the normal fire. Oops. Start off today by going around doing all the bells while they haven't figured out what they want to do with the SLC. If they want to power it up to check polarity first, I'm not sure exactly what they've decided. So I'm gonna go start do all of the bells and strobes.
Better than mine.
Okay, go for it.
You ready?
Yeah.
You can cut that over. Didn't
Yeah.
yeah.
So as I explained earlier in the intro, anything marked with red means it is being replaced, and anything marked with purple means it's being removed completely. So in this case, the bell will be replaced with a horn strobe, and because the strobe is now in the horn, the strobe is no longer needed, so that will be spliced through. Because the old devices were 110 candela, I'll be setting these new ones to 110 candela, and we're going to be doing low volume everywhere just because of the amount. Maybe the gym will be high. That's probably about it. So now I won't be showing every device, of course, because we have multiple people going around doing them. So I'll only be showing what I do. With the exception of a few devices in the office, and then later on in this video when my coworker was going around to the same rooms that I was working on, I pretty much took responsibility of all of the notification devices, and one of their other guys was working on smoke replacements, replacing the old heat detectors in the office area. Bathroom ones are being changed out to ceiling mount strobes. In the gym here, I have 3 strobes to be replaced with strobes and 1 bell to be changed to nothing, and then 1 strobe that will be a horn strobe. SRLA, just a strobe. I was wondering about that part. I was just gonna grab a different one.
Maybe I should give one to me.
Thank you. We'll add cages on these afterwards because we've got new ones that are meant for them. $30, $75, $95, $110. Another nice thing with this new system is now all of our devices will be synchronized. I will admit the bells sounded awesome. This was a really cool sounding system with how many bells, but the unsynchronized strobes were quite crazy. It looked like a fireworks show was going on in here or some sort of freaking photo shoot. It was insane. There were so many strobes unsynchronized. Now this last one is going to be a horn strobe, which also needs to be 110 candela, and we'll leave that at high volume. I do apologize for in this video that it is quite repetitive of me doing horns and strobes, horns and strobes, horns and strobes. I'm not going to lie, you're not going to see a lot else in this video. There are some different ones as far as their mounting, and you'll get to see around the school a little bit, but it's going to be more of this same work, and you'll just see it in different areas of the school. I'm hoping for in the next days I'll be able to show some of the other aspects of the system, such as pull station smokes, and later in this video you will see the new panel. Just changed that one there. Now these two get removed completely. Wherever devices have been removed, we just splice the circuit right through. This is another room here where some devices will be replaced, some won't be. Library here. We have some high up smoke detectors up there. In the library here, the engineer originally spec'd to have the device on this wall and have it on the other device on another wall blanked off, but I asked him when he came back for a revision of the plans if we could switch that up and put our new device on the other wall and get rid of this devices on this carpet crap, and he happily signed off on that change and approved it. That was completely fine to do, which I think just makes more sense. Why put something on this weird carpet wall when you have a nice normal flat wall to the side? So that strobe there is going to be turned into a new strobe. This strobe here is going to be turned into a horn strobe. And then in this back area, there's one on the left, one will get deleted, and there's one on the right. And that will be either replaced or deleted depending on which one. And then there's a strobe in that room, which will be deleted. Just blanked that one off. And this guy will be replaced with another horn strobe. This school does have one of the most annoying combination of devices to work with. There's definitely worse, but as far as Edwards products, these bells are much more of a pain to take down than something like a MB10-24, and these strobes are kind of annoying because they have these little tiny screws that you have to try not to lose or you won't be able to get the device back together.
What do you think?
What's that?
Like, do you think those were just doing relays? Or should I open it?
No, I metered the door holders. They were actually 24 volt AC.
Right.
In this hallway, that strobe and that strobe are going to be changed to horn strobes, and the bell in the middle will be deleted. The fire alarm system in this school is actually probably the second biggest in the entire district, even though we have much larger, newer schools in physical size. Because this building's not sprinklered and it was originally made for hard of hearing students, it has so many devices in it. Because there's so many devices in the school, it's kind of a perfect one for low volume. It's like you have one there on both low volume. It makes for very even sound coverage. 110 candela, of course. Something a little different about this school is the gym is actually part of a different original school. The school was originally constructed in the mid-70s, where the entire building was a much smaller building and it had the same gym that's currently there. And they tore down that whole building except for the gymnasium, and they rebuilt the school in the mid-1990s, but it still has the original 1970s gymnasium. I'm going to test some of the circuits just off battery to make sure that things are working. Catch it early. I couldn't get it on camera because he decided to call me, but they are all working in here. I am prepared to get many questions about why we didn't go with the new LED devices, and it was just what they supplied with us. The company that provided all the equipment had a bunch in stock, and obviously nobody at the school district's going to say anything. They don't care, so they gave us the old stock of devices, and it really makes no difference to us. They install the exact same way, they test the same way. The only other thing is maybe they'd have lower current draw, I guess, but we are already so much less current draw than these old bells and strobes. By the way, the exit signs in this school, I don't know what they are, but they might be dualite or something, or lithone. I honestly have no idea, but people get so excited over them. I have no idea why, because my quite honest, humble opinion is they're a piece of shit. I hate to work on them. They fall apart easy. They're old pieces of crap that don't snap together, but everybody else gets just so excited for them. I have no idea why. I just install them and maintain them. I don't know anything about them or care, to be honest. Boxes full of the devices are being laid out too, so each one's labeled so then you know where it's gonna go. See in the classrooms, purple means it's leaving, red means it's being replaced. I'm not going to take the lift around for that because that's hard to fit in there, and a lot of these have carpet that it will damage, but I'll do that with a ladder after. When I say the lift will damage the carpet, there are ways to mitigate that. If you drive on the carpet in a straight line, that's fine. You just don't want to turn the wheels on the carpet without being in motion when you do it, or it'll grab, especially the carpet tiles where it's glued down tiles, it'll pull the tiles right off. Don't ask me how I learned that one. It's happened. It happens to the best of us. You got to be really careful how you steer on the carpet. Here's the first floor. I'm now just left with individual devices. So each classroom has two strobes. One's being removed. I'll blank it off, splice it through. The other one's getting replaced with a horn strobe, low volume, 110 candela, all that. So I got to do that in all the classrooms, and then this other little room, and then a few bathrooms with ceiling strobes, and another guy's working on this floor doing the initiating side, just the detectors for now, not pull stations yet. So once I finish this part of the first floor before touching the second floor, I'll help him out getting initiation side done on the first floor. Then there's another guy and someone from the fire alarm company working in the panel room getting the 3030, and I'll show that all later. So yeah. strobe there on this side of the classroom we'll replace, and then that one will get blanked off. That one's going. At this point, I told my coworker I was getting a little bit too lonely doing these strobes alone, and I wanted some company, so I am doing the strobe that's getting replaced, so take the old one down and replace it with the new one, and he gets to do half of the same job. He gets to take down the old one, but then he has to put up a blank. I get to put up a new device, so I get a slightly more exciting job, I guess. I bet never in a million years you guys would guess this one, but believe it or not, I am in fact doing another strobe. And my coworker is across the room doing another strobe, replacing it with a plate. Remember, I had a super funny conversation this one. I have no idea what I was talking about, but it was really funny. That's all I remember. So I got to come up with these voiceovers on the spot here. This operation I'm running over here just quite doesn't have the budget for me to pre-plan my thoughts, so we end up with blurry videos like this as I set my phone down leaning against a bottle of Percept on the counter. And this is now the music room. Well, two of them. This lucky music teacher, he's got himself 2 rooms. I don't know how he managed that. It's like some people are out in portables, but this guy got himself 2 classrooms. Obviously he's doing something right. So this room was really hot. This side of the school was really hot. I remember that. I think we actually did lose our air handling units when the relays were off, so we should probably try and splice that back together for next day. I'm just thinking about that right now, actually, to get those going. Here's the other music room, and there's a bunch of those ukuleles. I remember back when I was in elementary, my buddy, this weird guy, well, he wasn't weird, he might be watching this, but yeah, he was a little weird, not gonna lie. He was a funny guy. Anyways, he always wanted the pink ukulele. Always had to try, and I'd always try and take it from him. Get there to class first and take it because it would make him so angry. Now I'm just doing one of the, sorry, that was really off topic. I'm doing a bathroom strobe now, ceiling mount strobe. These ones get set to 115 candela. What? Right here. Jesus. Right here. The reason those bathroom ones were set to 115 is I was replacing an 110 device, but the ceiling ones, I think they go 95, then 115. They skip 110, or maybe it's not 95. I don't know. They miss one, so the next one up's 115. This crazy room here has 3 strobes in it. We got one up here on this wall, one up here, and one up there. So we'll just be replacing one of them, probably that one. Wouldn't want to do that one because it's blocked by the projector. So this is how this is looking. The 3030 CPU is in here. The LCM and the LEM, whichever one that goes by. One's front, one's back. And power supply down here. And then isolated right here. This is all isolators. That's isolators, and that behind is isolators. This is NACs right here. There's 2 rows of NACs, I believe. Can't actually see the back one. This is relays. So all that needs to come up here from down here is SLC and power. Power has been brought up, extended, or that's not power, that's our annunciator at the front door. That's power there. This is what the portables will be. Monitor modules brought over for the portables, but those are temporary. That's coming out.
Look out!
Peter, do you need credit to be in my video again like last time?
Yeah.
You want the credit in there? I'll put the credit in there then. You got it.
The famous Peter Data. Again, he is everywhere.
These are the batteries. 34 amp hour. K-Jaws. I'll take these, I guess. This is where we're at for day 1. Got a few bells down. All 3 panels. This is full of strobes. There's a lot of strobes in this place. It's crazy. Saw that one do the red thing.
That's different. That was pulling this one. He just installed it, so we're doing that. So now, Nick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the last time Dimitri did it, and put the panel beeping.
Yeah.
We need to silence that again before we go.
What do you have? This one's green? Yeah, it is. I think. There we go. Get the annunciator in. The old graphic annunciator is not changing, but we'll have to put the
So it's a fire alarm panel, Nick. So how's she gonna arm it?
I think she can bypass it. Or it might not even affect arming because it's a fire alarm zone.
It is so tiny now.
So got into it. What was it? What did I do to get into bypass? I just hit star. Electrical room door.
Oh, electrical door or something. No.
No, I'm just bypassing it. I just want to film it so I remember how I got to it. No. I'm trying to find the fire panel. There, fire panel. So that bypass it?
I know. But the electrical room door's open, right?
True.
So
I think I might have bypassed it. I don't know. So this lift broke down. It sounds like the shaft between the drive motor and the electric pump broke. Because if you try and do anything, anyone that knows lifts knows it shouldn't sound like that. So it's got no power. So we're going to have to drag it out of here, maybe with the other lift and a tow rope. But also, anyone that knows these knows that they're freaking heavy. And it's right now broken down in the middle of the library. So it might just have to become a new bookshelf for now. Because to me, it sounds like the connection between motor and pump is broken. Alrighty guys, that's going to be it for day 1. We got almost the whole first floor done for horns. Another guy started doing detectors and yeah, alright, we'll be back for the next day. Guys, well, if you enjoyed this first video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Any comments, questions, feel free to leave those down in the comment section down below. And if you enjoy my videos, make sure to subscribe. Also, if you're interested, I got an Instagram account at Pickle700 for extra stuff. Stuff posted earlier than you'd see it on the YouTube channel, that sort of thing. Alright, make sure to come back to part 2 if you're interested.